right, here we go. Oh my! All right, I'm moving over. Get in here. All right. Welcome to the show, kids. Welcome to the Rough Report. I am Jimmy Ruffian. I am looking greasy today. My hair's all flat and bleh.
Well, we do this on Sunday nights.
Yeah.
On Sunday nights, you're just going to be whatever.
All right. Okay, so yeah, we're doing another episode. Oh, like my gut is like busting. I just ate dinner, and it's like my buttons are stressed now. Yeah.
Let the thirst posting begin.
Yeah.
Thirst traps.
Yes. Where did we leave off last week? We were talking about Iran retaliating against Israel. And it seems like now that we're a week out from that, I haven't heard much about it. Now, I don't know if that is conveniently because other things have been filling up the news stream, or maybe just like nothing really came of it. It was a strategic retaliation, and intentfully did not hit any major targets, even though like people in the like Zionists and people in like Israeli government were sort of like taunting Iran that their attack didn't like do anything. It's just like, no, unlike you, we didn't have this strict intent to kill people.
Well, like
we were responding basically to say, cut it out.
Yeah, like their intention wasn't to commit war crimes.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Is my mic on?
It is, but it's just you're quiet.
Yeah, I'm quiet. Oh, there we go. I can hear myself.
There.
Yeah, I mean, Iran's intent was not to commit war crimes, and so they didn't. But also, it didn't sound like they had intended at that time to escalate to full-on war. I think they just wanted to show them, like, we'll bite back.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I don't think that... I mean, things could still escalate there, but neither of us
like,
are...
as far as, like, military responses go, that's as appropriate as it can get, right?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, neither of us are international policy experts,
Yeah.
and so we can't say with any certainty.
But, with the limited amount we might be working with.
Yeah,
the
the optics that we have to work
Yeah.
with, it seems like that was their intent and that they didn't intend to go further. So, like,
Yeah.
let's hope that, it doesn't escalate from there because war is bad.
Yeah, because, if we did touch on this on last week's show, we might have spent some time like going, oh, damn, this could be really bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that, like I said, a week out, that doesn't seem to be the case.
Yeah, everything's still horrifying and unrelenting in Gaza.
All sorts of other ways. Yeah.
But,
the horrors continue there. That hasn't stopped. But, of course, the story... Oh, excuse me. The story this week, I'm drinking the fizzy soda water here, has largely... been circling around the the campus in college and university protests going on throughout the U.S. and a bit in Canada as well.
Mm-hmm.
And just like there's and of course out of these protests, whenever there's like a mass sort of movement like this that's sort of capturing the popular attention, it's almost like, I don't know, disappointing, I guess is the word, that the narrative is always largely the same.
But we should be at this point prepared for it and to not fall for the talking point of those darn students, what do they know about
kids,
life?
What do they know? They don't have real jobs.
Yeah.
Like any length that people can go to discredit them. So, like, my general thing is, I am immediately suspect of anyone trying to, I don't know, delegitimize what these kids are doing in any capacity.
Mhm.
Like, oh, I agree with your message, but not your methods. You know, that's always
Shut up.
something that people like to say. Nah. I would go to venture that you actually do not agree with us in any
Yeah.
capacity.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that these college protests, what they seem to be, I mean, for one, the goal of these college protests is to get universities such as Columbia to divest the school's investments from funding Israel and from funding weapons manufacturers. Like that's a major part of what these are for. And so it's not just students saying, hey, something should happen on the other side of the world. Is students saying, hey, my institution of higher learning is directly involved in
Yes.
prolonging
Yes.
this war by putting money in investments that fund it.
Yeah.
And they're directly funding it. And so, what the students are doing, what they're targeting, is very extremely valid and an extremely valid way of doing that.
Yeah.
And so,
honestly, like, even that aside, universities and colleges is where, I mean, this stuff should be happening. That's where these conversations should be happening.
yeah.
In a
Well,
big
it's where
way.
they always happen.
Exactly.
Like, this isn't new.
Yeah. So, like, the fact that this stuff is happening on campuses,
Mm-hmm.
even aside from, like, to say that, like you say, they weren't involved in these investments,
Mm-hmm.
it's still perfectly valid.
Yeah.
And this has always been a thing. Like, hello, Kent State, 4 dead in Ohio,
Yeah.
This isn't new.
Yeah, especially the military lockdowns and cracking down
It's
on.
eerily similar. Like
Yeah.
these, what is it? I'll try and pull up one of them, actually. I don't have one of these shots queued up. But there were... Here, sorry, let me get in.
The camera just went fuzzy because I leaned too far back. So I'm like, oh. Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to bring up.
Yeah. Conveniently, it's really hard to find on... honestly, I hate saying this in kind of a way, but one of the best places to get information about what's happening at these campuses is on Twitter.
Well, it's still on Instagram as well.
Yeah, Instagram, like social media is still kind of being functionally good in this way.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, TikTok is one of the main places that young people, like people who would be attending these schools right now, that is their kind of like main social media platform in that demographic. So quite conveniently, TikTok has now been banned in the United States, of course, right?
No.
So, but I'm trying to find a shot of the snipers that they had pointed at these kids.
Yeah.
Like college kids at a peaceful protest.
Mm-hmm.
And you got fucking cop snipers pointing weapons at them. Yeah, this is one of the verified shots. Like, this isn't like a speculative picture or anything. This is an actual police sniper pointing his weapon at college protesters.
Yeah. And now, I can't remember if we particularly have brought this up, but the what goes on in the Israeli IDF targeting of Palestinians comes home to roost. Home being the Americas, like, because Canada always follows what the what the U.S. does, like a couple decades later. Anyway, so stuff like this of having snipers set up. We've heard about the atrocities of IDF snipers for ages. This is not something that started October 7th. Hearing in the news stories about IDF snipers picking off children is old hat. Like, it's well established, like way before anything happened the past 6-7 months. Just making sure that my eye bags are a little bit less prominent. Thank you.
Yeah, well, it's just like the above light sort of like makes this look. So it's trying to offset that a little. The lighting in here, like we used to use a ring light behind the screen, so it was a little bit I think nicer to us. But I don't have that in here right now. I don't even know where that ring light is. Oh, excuse me. But I shouldn't drink carbonated beverages on the show.
And have the show directly after having dinner. So
yeah,
maybe we
right,
could have pushed that
right
back.
after having dinner. Like literally, I finished eating at 10 to 8, and then I ran down here and got everything ready.
Yeah, priorities.
Anywho,
so the tactics. Basically, Israeli offensive against Palestinians is a testing ground for the kinds of actions that can be taken against Americans. Like, is it in Chicago? Is that where Cop City is being built right now?
Yes, I think that's one of the places.
One, yeah, I'm not saying it's the only one, but like one of that we've heard the most about. Americans setting up cop cities to crack down on citizens. And like this is just, it shows that the veneer is getting thinner and thinner. And
that there's also no mistaking that the right wing is interested in protecting freedom of speech, right? We see what they're doing. We see what they support.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We see what they're cheering on.
Yeah.
It is explicit and apparent.
Yeah.
You know? And you could say liberals are like ineffectual at fighting it, all that stuff, whatever. But this is active on the part of conservatives.
Yeah.
By and large. So like, know your enemy here, right?
Yeah.
And so the reason I say that is a bit of a segue into like the way people talk about prominent left-wing figures, okay, and how the left, and I put that in quotations, and that seems like a thing that gets thrown around, like a leftist calling each other not real leftists, right? But I do feel like there's a bit of psyop, / black propaganda sort of trolling, even if you will, on part of these people who are essentially pretending to be left, being ridiculous online, and trying to infiltrate like these sort of leftist conversations in these spaces by kind of poisoning the well with these ideas that, everyone who is a big voice on the left, who can capture mainstream attention and represents, and I'm not even saying like left wing as far as, just being a total communist goes or a socialist. I mean people who are left of the center, left of establishment Democrats, the mainstream people that have the best chance at providing progress on the establishment level. And the amount of time that these people try and spend to talk shit about them before anyone else, apparently, and like complaining that like, oh, don't pay attention to these celebrities, and it's like you give them more oxygen than anybody. It's crazy. So like, and one example here is Hassan Piker and this person, and I'm not saying like this targeting this particular poster or anything like that, but this is a ridiculous way of like kind of recognizing this stuff. This is a guy who is going on the air and loudly, vocally, articulately defending Palestine, right? And he's one of the few people that we got doing that, by and large, when you talk about like who's in the mainstream media, who gets a lot of eyeballs, who gets a large voice, Zionists or pro-Palestinian voices. I think it's pretty obvious what the ratio looks like there. So, criticize these people when their points are bad, sure. Even remind people that we shouldn't completely rely on them, that their voice in the mainstream media is going to fix everything,
Mm-hmm.
and don't let that satiate you and that sort of thing. Remind people of that, sure,
Mm-hmm.
but to go out like this, like with the fucking red triangle in your screen name here, like you're a Palestinian supporter yourself, and talking shit about Hassan Piker like this in this scenario, even like this particular quote that this person has chosen as the highlight to do you believe what happened on October 7th was an unjustified act of revolution? Yes or no? I do not. And oh wait, like, let's see how it sounds in this clip, right?
Well, not necessarily just what I think. I think that there are obvious markers, obvious boundaries. I don't think violence against civilians is justified. I have talked about October 7 on this very same show, saying that it was a tragedy. It was atrocities that occurred on October 7 specifically. When you target civilians in any capacity, I think that that is unacceptable. However, this does not mean that violence will not occur in many circumstances. Violence has occurred in every single revolutionary action, many good revolutionary actions. Obviously, America bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki with an atom bomb. That was not a very
was
good
what Hamas did on
moment
October the
for
7th.
anybody. It was not a very good moment for human civilization at all.
Was what Hamas did on
But that's
October the
not
7th?
the point.
Was what Hamas did on October the 7th an example of what you would call a justified revolution?
I don't look at every single act of violence. I look at
You've
the
literally
players,
just been
I look
reciting
at
a whole
the
load of
systems
them.
of oppression.
Why
when
are you
we're
avoiding-
analyzing it.
why are
And
you
do it
avoiding
too,
October
Piers.
the 7th?
You do it too.
No, I don't.
I'm not avoiding it. I've talked about it a
Okay.
billion times
Well,
over.
let me ask you
I'd
one
like
more
to
time.
say-
Hang
This is
on.
not what-
See, and okay, so let's look at what the poster said happens in this clip and what we just heard.
Mm-hmm.
Do those things match?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too: is that like,
Ridiculous.
yeah,
It's ridiculous.
well, like, for example, on that, because I've watched other clips from that particular Piers Morgan
Yeah.
show, and that blonde woman in the middle. Oh,
my God.
I don't even know her
I did
name.
have that other. I hope I have that other clip of her where. Yeah, I think I do.
Okay,
somewhere
let's
in here.
just roll that.
Okay. Let me give me a second. Let me make sure I find it.
Yeah, because it's just the what's the word I'm looking for? Sometimes my English fails me, and it's really frustrating in the moment because it's like there's so many words in the English language, and there's like maybe 5 that would fit. Disingenuous. There we go. The disingenuousness of some of the arguments, including I just outright ignoring what someone is saying. Yeah, there we go. You found it.
This is the clip. Here, let's watch this. And like it's deliberate disingenuousness.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
like
obviously.
How does anybody watch this?
Yeah.
With their own fucking eyes and ears, right?
It's
and think that this person, the Zionist here,
is speaking in good faith.
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Dissolve the apartheid
So
regime.
what would you like to
allow
see happen,
Palestinians,
Hassan?
Allow.
You didn't share.
Do you not understand the English
shoot.
language?
Oh, yeah, I gotta get it on the screen. Sorry, but like even that right there, like he's answering the question.
Yeah.
And she talks over him.
Yeah.
Like
At that point, I'd be like, "Is this on?"
Yeah.
Dissolve the apartheid
So
regime.
what would you like to
allow
see happen,
Palestinians,
Hassan?
Allow. Do you not understand the English language?
We're
Dissolve
delayed.
the
It's delayed.
apartheid regime.
Everyone wants to criticize the IDF's response, but nobody wants to tell me what should Israel be doing to retaliate October 7th,
He
eradicate
literally
Hamas
just
from
said
preventing
it.
another October 7th,
It's
and
like
bring the
never
Hamas
ending
home.
loop.
Do you have a
I have an
solution?
idea. I have an idea. Do not flatten Gaza and potentially pull your own hostages up from under the rubble like have been done with thousands of Palestinians. That's a good idea. Have you found any
So
of them
you're
under the
saying that
rubble?
you don't have an answer.
That is the
So
answer.
you
Don't
have
kill
an
your own
answer.
hostages.
But you're
I always
How
have
about
an
not
answer.
killing the hostages?
Very interesting.
I have an answer.
Thank you
Okay.
for proving my point.
It's called the
Greg. Yes,
dissolution
Hassan.
of the apartheid
then
regime.
this
Dissolve
person-
the apartheid
So
regime.
what would
So the way the person edited this video, so it loops around, it was actually quite masterful, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, come on.
And the fact that they keep saying that Israel has a right to defend itself 7 months on.
Yeah, defend itself from what? What is it defending itself against? Like release the hostages. How do you know you haven't killed them? Like, there's so much that you've fucking blown up, including what you have claimed is Hamas headquarters, like a Hamas headquarters conveniently hidden underneath every hospital and school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so,
but not only that, so you've blown up all the Hamas headquarters, and you don't think any of your hostages might have been in one. I don't know. It doesn't sound like you're on much of a rescue mission to me.
You're not even on a recovery mission.
Right? So yeah, it's so ridiculous, like the blatant propaganda. And that I think that's why they're obviously losing public favor. And it's becoming obvious. Like there's just a lot of money, a lot of lobbying that occurs to curry favor into what Israel's doing and America's continuing funding of it.
It's demented. If you look at the numbers of the press, of the healthcare workers, of children, of maternity wards, of schools, of medical centers that have been purposefully targeted and destroyed, it is completely disproportionate to anything that we've seen in modern history. It is completely unhinged, and that anyone would try to continue making the point that, well, this is just Israel defending itself. At what point are Palestinians allowed to not die? This is so fucked up that they're still hanging on to that one same talking point, and that anyone fucking lets them.
Yeah.
Holy shitting
Absolutely.
fuck.
Yeah. Completely agree. And and kind of continuing in the vein on people that don't seem to want to take the win in a lot of ways, where somebody who is mainstream is on your side about an issue and kind of seizing that moment and caring about it, you know? Sure, there's a lot of people who are legitimate leftist voices, Palestinians even, who are making these criticisms, and it's not like I'm trying to talk over them or say that their concerns are not legitimate, but literally don't give oxygen to constantly shitting on guys like Hassan in the squad and act like they're your secret enemy. Oh, they're here to satiate us and they're here to be counter-revolutionary and stuff like that. What's the matter with just going, thank you for your support?
Yeah, we're not going to
moving on.
Yeah, we're not going to turn over the mic to you and let you lead us away from our intended purpose.
When guys say stuff like this, and like I said, I'm not trying to shit on this guy, Josh. From what I can tell, he's perfectly fine in many respects, but I'm going to disagree with him on this point. Where he says, over a decade of yearly mass protests, and we still collectively cannot recognize or intervene in the state's shadow attempts at counterinsurgency. I understand it when it's the babies, but seeing those of us who've been around this shit long enough succumb to this is inexcusable. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
succumb to what? What are you talking? What do you mean by succumb?
Yeah, support.
I really don't understand what the fuck you're getting at.
Yeah, support for Palestine has to reach liberals. It does.
Yeah.
Right? And so you don't need to be the one to reach them, and you can be focusing on the parts that you want. But, I mean, honestly...
giving oxygen to saying, oh, why do we give these celebrity politicians and celebrities in general this kind of attention? The more you do that...
they're boosting what we want to happen.
My feed was filled with this. Of people complaining like this, right? And complaining about giving it oxygen and giving it attention. It's it's a bit ironic. I'm sorry. I know you want to say something that criticizes this person, but again, the more effective thing, if the topic is Gaza, the topic is supporting these protesters. Stay on topic, you know? I just don't get why for an entire 2 or 3 days this kind of shit was all I could see. And it's just like, and it's this inner left squabbling about whether it's like good or bad. And it gets nobody anywhere.
Yeah. Like there is no single path to freedom. If there were, we would have gotten there by now.
Yeah,
right?
I just find it so frustrating, especially when like we're talking about again, they're not the perfect leftist voices. They're not the leftist voices we want or deserve or whatever the fucking Batman quote is.
Yeah.
But they're the ones we got, you know.
Yeah.
And we can criticize them when it's worthy to criticize them. Like, say if she didn't show up, say if AOC didn't go to this thing, and bring some attention to supporting them. What do you think her intentions are good or not? You know, you can still say, hey, look, even this establishment person supports us. Like, take the win.
Yeah.
Take the goddamn win.
And that's the thing. Like, don't be a hipster. Like, it doesn't, like, what we want is good for everyone, right?
I just
like,
succumb to what? What are we losing? I don't get it. And then there's this one, like your daily reminder that the woman pictured below is an absolute fraud and genocidal maniac. I mean, these types of people, first name bunch of numbers, first of all. Okay, so like, and you know, you had like 60 followers or something like that, like an account that's fairly new. It's all a bit suspicious, this kind of talk. That's all I'm saying. And it does come off to me as deeply unserious. Like this is where you're putting your anger and your energy, is this fraud and genocidal maniac. It's a single congressperson, and you can't stop thinking about her. Yeah, it's fucking weird, guys.
Like, if that were Mitch McConnell, I could understand. But oh no, he wasn't. He was majority leader, right?
Yeah,
like not
Senate
currently,
majority leader,
not currently, but like historically. And
Yeah.
so, just as that position, he held an inordinate amount of power to do
a lot
an
more
awful
power
lot
than
of,
AOC ever has.
Yeah,
okay?
right. And so, if she gets to be like Speaker of the House or Majority Leader or something like that, then cool beans.
Yeah.
But just, you know,
But legitimately, like people like in the squad, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib, and AOC, and all the rest of them.
Yeah.
Showing up and supporting this stuff is good.
Yeah.
Let the liberals gobble it up.
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
and take the win and move on.
Yeah, because at this point it turns into like perfect is the enemy of done, or the enemy of good, for that matter.
And that's why I call it like that. You know, black propaganda is a thing. The reverse propaganda, where you make something that's as if it were written by the person you're criticizing. And like that's a known tactic. So, that's a known tactic right up there with, you know, your celebrities trying to satiate people, right? That like that can all, it's all propaganda, right? So be conscientious of it. Use it to whatever advantage you can.
Yeah.
And move on.
Speaking of tactics,
yes,
that one can use to their benefit, I would like to talk about the bonk.
Oh yes, I do have the bonk.
Yeah, let's bring up the
have
bonk.
we? I sure hope
Apropos
anybody
of nothing.
who knows what we're talking about and how it is in fact apropos, not apropos of nothing. It's apropos.
Well, I mean,
entirely apropos.
Apropos of everything. Share the bonk.
Bonk,
before
bonk, the bonk.
Yeah, before we continue.
I will say, yeah. Here it is. I wanted to bonk, 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 the bonk. She been bonk, 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 the bonk.
Just share the bonk.
Okay. Well, there's a song for this too. Okay. This song's gonna be better than the one I was just trying to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is art. Okay. Banger.
Bong bong, that's how you should treat the cup. Make them take more than 5 L's, that's how you beat the cup. Bong bong, do you want this juggernaut? Come and go hard with the jug, I call him juggernaut. Cal Poly going too off with big old plastic jugs, just like a boob job. They wanna know what I think when I was first. How they popped into to my head, this thesis bunker. Bong, bong, what the students say. From Columbia Uni all the way to LA. Let us unify and rise in the coolest way. Motherfuck 12, free Palestine to the grave.
Hey.
It's not a clip, only bitch, it's a life lesson. If you're resourceful, anything can be the right weapon.
That's such a that's seriously such a fire line at the end there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whether
if
it's
you're
an
resourceful,
acorn.
anything could be the right weapon. And why is this like sure, it's not very physically effective, right?
But it is undignified and
It's
demoralizing.
so undignified.
Yeah.
Just like imagine, like put yourself like Copovision, okay?
Yeah.
Put your eyeballs through that guy's eyeballs,
Yeah.
and imagine like you're in riot gear and a bunch of fucking kids, okay? And then
Yeah.
bonk, on your fucking helmet and plastic visor,
Yeah.
burn, burn, burn,
Yeah.
and you can't really move your arms, so there's not much you can do about it.
Yeah.
And
Because
you're
here's
just
the
like, this life has led me to this point. My life choices have brought me here.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm doing.
Yeah,
Cool.
because here's the thing. Largely with the left, we'll keep going, even if we're silly for a moment.
Yeah.
Because our sense of morality and indignation doesn't rely on our ego. So
I mean, that can depend on who you ask. But then again, I
Yeah.
did just talk about
I'm using generalizations.
fake leftists a little bit. So maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
well, like anyone who says, like, I was fully going to support them, but then suddenly someone made fun of my haircut, and so now I decide to be a fascist. Like,
Yeah,
were
exactly.
they really on our
Yeah,
side?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's like I don't know how principled and committed you were.
Whereas on the right, it seems to be so much of owning people and image, and so just cases of these non-harmful occasions. So like let's we went through a few examples the other day, like just personally, him and I, of ways that this has come about where you just take the wind out of someone's fucking sails.
Yeah.
This
I
bottle
feel like
is one
that's-
great example.
Yeah.
Another example is Chai Ratchik, when she was in front of those was it university students, right?
Yeah.
Having a talk, and they laughed her out of there. Laughter is such a powerful fucking force.
And that's for them, against them. Like it is particularly powerful because that's what it's like the only thing they recognize in a way, right? Like they view their laughter as powerful because it's always bullying.
Yeah.
Their source of laughter is based in gaining power, right? Our source of laughter is often in criticizing power.
Yeah.
And it takes on a very different feeling and a very different dynamic and a very different sense of ego.
Yeah.
And so, it's very easy to demoralize the right in that sense because they legitimately really hate being laughed at. Like it's enraging and irritating to them.
Like that dude who was just losing his shit laughing. What was the circumstance?
The green shirt?
The green shirt.
The infamous green shirt.
Yeah.
I definitely don't have that clip pulled up because I didn't know we were going to talk about that. But like I said to you before, it's one of my favorite GIFs. I use that all the time. But the context was, it was some sort of like town hall, local government kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like a city hall meeting or what have you.
And,
was
it the lady who thought she was magnetized, or was that a different one?
No, but it was kind of on the same level. It was MAGA people like going on about QAnon and what Q said and how the government's like coming to control them and stuff. And this guy just turned around and legit burst into laughter. He's like, and he was apparently interviewed after, and I remember him saying something like, he wasn't trying to make a big political statement by doing that. It was just like these people were legit ridiculous and induced honest laughter out of him. So,
or that what was the occasion when that guy dressed up as a the Monopoly guy, basically? He had that mustache and monocle at the hearings.
Yeah.
Which hearings were those?
I feel like of course it had something to do with rich people shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna make me look this up, aren't you?
Always internally. Anyway, and also of Nazi what's his shit getting his shit rocked. Photobombs, Equifax there.
Yeah, the Equifax CEO
Yeah.
was being grilled in front of Congress or Senate. I'm not sure. But yeah, here, let's see. I can. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, on Open Democracy here. Yeah, there he is.
Yeah.
Monopoly man lurking just above the shoulder of Google's CEO Sundar Pichai at the House Judiciary Committee hearing in Washington on December in 2018. Wow, that was 2018.
Yeah.
I'm now at that point where I'm continuously fascinated at the passage of time,
Oh,
even though it's been doing this my entire life.
Yeah, but the past 4 years of
It's
fucked
just
with.
Yeah.
Prior to the past 4 years, I had really good sense of like what happened when.
Yeah.
Since then, I have no idea. It could have been last week, last month. It could have been a decade ago. I'm not sure anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, like I don't know, kind of cap off my point about like how these people are like sort of deranged about what the squad does or doesn't do, about what Hassan Piker supports or doesn't support. Like the fact that he's a millionaire, but he has all these like socialist causes. How hypocritical about it, and it's like, I'm sorry, like socialists can have money. That's not like the basis.
They can't have $1 billion.
Anyway, I don't even mean to get off the rails with it. Like, if you really think that these guys, I don't know, aren't helping you or what have you, I'd say just move on. They're not actively hurting. There's no way they're actively hurting. Like, I can't see how they could be hurting your cause other than draining your energy by, I don't know, going on these weird rants where it's like, I don't know, where you just sound like an unlikable douchebag a little bit. Like, I don't know how you think this is working for you. That's all I'm saying. Okay.
Yeah. And also like, just in terms of, attacking someone as not being left or socialist enough because they have a Porsche. But it's like, who the fuck do you think?
Porsche is a douchey vehicle. I'll give you that. I wouldn't own a
Yes.
Porsche.
Yes.
I think it's kind of douchey, but.
Yeah, I mean, we have a Hyundai Elantra, but yeah, just in terms of who do you think gets onto Piers Morgan?
Yeah.
Right? Like, do you really think that they're going to get someone from the local coffee shop who's doing a, spoken word piece? They're going to pull them off? No. The people who get in front of people like Piers Morgan have some kind of financial and social capital. That is what it is, right? And so it sucks, and we're obviously trying to tear the entire thing down, but it's not down. And so while things still exist, we get the players who can play in the game, because we're all beholden to the game right now anyways. Until such time as a revolution is going to happen tonight, tomorrow, and so that come the following day there isn't going to be an establishment, then we still need AOC. We still need the squad.
Yeah, and we may still need Democrats. Although, like we've talked about much recently, it's like, years ago, I would have been one of those guys who said, like, vote blue because it's harm reduction, right? But like, I think they've broken that little curve.
They've really fucked it up with this university
genocide,
crackdowns.
Yeah, the genocide. Biden's just fervent support of it, right? And then on top of that, you only got those few people like the squad who are kind of like resisting this, and
Yeah, like there's absolutely
they've broken the barrier. Like they crossed the line of how far I can say harm reduction goes. Like, what about trans people? Well, all these red states have passed laws against trans people that violate federal human rights, where it would be perfectly within Biden's power to do something about it. And let's face it, he doesn't want to put the energy into it.
Yeah.
For one reason or another, he's not showing up.
Yeah.
So what good is it?
He hasn't added any more Supreme Court justices.
Yeah. He hasn't tried to expand the court when he had the perfect option to do that.
Yeah. He hasn't made an executive order about abortion access.
Yeah. So again, where's the win? Where's the win?
Yeah. And what I think comes down to is that, Gaza was largely a slipping of the veil to show how much money we're still sending Israel, even when they're still
I had a guy
actively
try and tell me that like Israel would be perfectly enabled to continue doing what it's doing, even if not for U.S. support. And I thought that was pretty funny because I think if U.S. pulled their money out of there, they'd have a much harder time.
Well, the thing is, like,
certain things.
the funny thing is, my guy, is that no one can prove you right because the U.S. won't stop funding Israel.
Yeah.
But I think that there's a slipping of the veil when that happened. But the fact that, this is turning into the American Spring, as I've heard it referred to with a student protests, the fact that under Biden's watch, that we're still seeing the same kind of totalitarian crackdowns that we saw in 2020 under Trump.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
he's fucked up on his own soil right there.
Yeah, he's there's no saving or pulling this upper echelon of the Democratic establishment left. I think there's maybe some promise in some people in the Democrats, but certainly not the powerful establishment Democrats, like the Democrat leaders, the people who have been there the longest time and have the most pull.
Like Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden.
Completely lost the fucking plot.
Yeah, they're hopeless. They're off the map. Fuck them. But I think, with effort, there is ways to push a lot of the others to the left, and I think you've seen that in a lot of ways in terms of just like how the tide is turning, in terms of how people were talking about this conflict a few months ago versus how they're talking about it now, and how there is the media is getting a little softer on pro-Palestinian voices and things like that. You are seeing a change in this because people have been fighting for it. So don't be satiated by the fact that, AOC is showing up to support these people. Be inspired by the fact that your pressure, your political activism
is helping
in inducing this.
It's not done.
Yeah. So again, take the win. Take the fucking win. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, just, speaking of college protests, I wanted to show this video because I really like this kid's speech. 21 years old, 1964, University of California. He was arrested along with 800 others. And as this poster put it, Dave New World _2, Hoover's FBI was terrified of this speech. I don't know how terrified they might have been, but I like the sounds of that. I'll say that.
And the time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all. And the time when...
Yes, 1,000 times yes.
Look this up. Bookmark it. I am right now. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. And that's how you do it. And that's the fundamental core of protest. So again, when you see these other people online, or even people that you might be talking to in real life, because this is a common attitude about the nature of protesting, is what he's calling for enrages a lot of people, and they'll start to say things like, oh, how are we supposed to win? How are you supposed to be winning us over if you're preventing us from getting to work by blocking up the roads, if you're giving us such a hard time, if you're such nasty people causing a mess?
Yeah.
How are we supposed to sympathize with you? And that, I believe, articulates it, because you've got to make stuff. You got to put your body upon the gears of the machine, and the gears of the machine are people going to work.
Yeah.
The huge gear of the machine right there. So yeah, you're going to be bothered. You may be annoyed. You may be frustrated, but it's nothing compared to the frustration of, watching your family die and the world not care.
Yeah.
So, fuck it, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing, is that this can be, this rallying cry can be taken into, so many different actions. And anyone who would hear a rallying cry like that, like, oh, Willie's calling for violence. What do you think that they're fighting against?
Yeah.
Right? It's like I know I say this repeatedly.
Who's calling for violence? Who?
Well, like,
really?
I know that I
Really?
say this repeatedly, but, it seems that too many people.
Oh, sorry.
We're not gonna.
Wait. I was just queuing something up. I didn't want the sound to start yet. Sorry.
Too many people have given the state all authority on violence. And so the only violence that is ever legitimized, that is allowed, is state enacted violence. They even get to decide what violence is called. So they don't call cops using chemical weapons and tear gas on protesters. They don't call that violence. They don't call, kettling protesters. They don't call that violence.
Yeah.
Violence is only something that comes from the people.
Yeah, only the state has the monopoly on violence, right?
Yeah.
Like they're allowed. It's not violence when they do it, and that's why they're allowed. But that's how the monopoly on violence by the state happens. Is that we just have this tendency to view it as normal. Oh, look, there's the boys in blue doing what they do.
Yeah, there's the boys in
I
blue.
may not even like it, but that's life.
Yeah. Yeah. But it hasn't always been, and it doesn't have to be.
Yes.
All right. Well, what are you going to queue up for?
Okay, you'll enjoy this because I know you haven't seen this yet.
Do you know?
And I know. This is fun. This is a right-wing influencer. I've actually never heard of this lady before, but of course she's got a Twitter following here of nearly 40,000 people.
You should share that on.
Yeah, I'll pull it up on the big screen here. Her name's Montana Tucker. Because, what's the most conservative, blonde, white lady name you could possibly think of?
Something that sounds like a trans joke.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. That was really good. Wonder how many people catch that. Well, our
Have
viewers,
you checked
our
the
viewers,
replies?
Yes, our viewers. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how many other people in the replies might have made that joke. But, this person is popular enough to have 40,000 followers. First time I ever heard of them. But here we go. After seeing everything on the news, because, they're legitimate journalists. They're very concerned about what's happening on the ground. I decided to go and see for myself what is happening at UCLA. I went in with the intention of having honest conversations. Of course you did. As a right-wing influencer, they always walk into left-wing spaces hoping to have a very honest and serious conversations. This is what we know they're notorious for, right?
Yeah.
Of course. However, no one would speak to me. The only thing they would say to me is, you can speak with our media liaison, or we don't speak to agitators. When I tried to speak with their media liaison, they again refused to talk to me.
How dare.
Oh, God. Okay, I'll get into it in a second. I'll finish reading the tweet here because I don't know how legible it is on y'all's screen over there. Then when I tried to peacefully enter their encampment, which is on public property that anyone has the right to walk through, they set up a human barricade to physically prevent me from going in. I can't believe this is what our world has come to. Where are their parents? Their parents are at home.
This is
Their parents at
post-secondary.
home.
This is post-secondary institution.
They're-
Like these
they're-
are adults.
These people are at college. What do you mean? Where are their parents? Their parents at home. They're at college. That's the answer.
Where are their parents?
Where
That's
are their
hilarious.
parents? Like, won't somebody please think of the children, but not these children,
Yeah, fuck
because
these
they're
children.
not children. How are the school systems allowing this? I mean, they're kind of not, because they're trying to get people arrested.
And
So I don't know. Like,
and they're okaying snipers being on their
and
campuses.
fucking snipers, yeah. So we have to do better as a society. Of course, again, right wingers very concerned with the health of society, right?
Yeah.
My hope and dream is still the same, that one day we can all have love, peace, and understand one another. Only after we get to wipe out those Palestinians, right? That's that. Just one more race, bro. Just one more group of people, bro. Once we eliminate them, we'll be good, bro. We promise, bro. Yeah.
All right, show me
Same
the fucking
old
video.
story. Okay, so I wanted to like preamble into this because it's really funny. And the fact that she posted this, like, evidently not like,
Having the self-awareness,
Yeah.
like maybe it doesn't look so good.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
All right, get on with it, because it's
so,
getting on
okay.
to 9 o'clock. I want to go
All
to
right.
bed.
Been seeing all over the news all the craziness that's happening on college campuses, especially at UCLA, so I decided to come here for myself. Do you mind if I interview?
I'm not going to talk to media.
Excuse me, do you guys want to tell me what's going on here?
No, sorry. I'm not letting any media in. You can't just...
Just dramatic
Okay, we're just
music.
standing outside, just trying to. Are we allowed to ask you guys a few questions about it? A lot of us just don't feel comfortable.
I can direct you to media liaison.
We're not gonna interview with you today. Not gonna engage with people that are gonna be pushing us.
Never seen anything like this in my life.
I've never seen anything like this. But first of all, huge props
Yeah.
to the organizing,
Yeah.
and the awareness,
Yes.
and the solidarity.
Yes.
Excellent,
Yeah.
beautiful work.
Like, you're not entitled to someone making a statement that they're not
Like you're
comfortable
showing
talking
up,
to you.
yeah, with the camera. If you really wanted to learn, if you really wanted to just be there to learn, you don't
Yeah.
need your fucking camera, okay? But anyway.
Agitators aren't allowed.
Talk to one of our media. They won't speak to me. No one will speak to me.
There's a desk over there with media.
I've spoken to them. They won't speak to me.
Then I guess that's your answer, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've tried, and this lady specifically is telling me I'm an agitator.
Don't engage with agitators in this.
I'm just trying to understand what you're protesting. For some reason, no one from your guys' team will let you guys speak, and I don't know why.
This is
you
where it
guys
gets
can-
really good. This is where it gets really good. I almost like I
No,
cracked
I
up.
don't know what it's about.
I cracked up so much at this point.
Speak to me. And like, this is so intimidating and scary for you guys to be standing here. I
Oh my
literally have walked
God.
around for the past 2 hours just
The
asking
white
people
lady
questions. Like,
tears.
what's going on here today? Why are you guys here? No one can speak to me. And you guys are laughing. I don't understand how this is funny. I genuinely wanted to learn from you. And I wish we could have ended in a hug. That's actually what I hope
could have ended in
That's
a
my dream
hug.
from all of this, that we could understand each other.
Cool. All right.
Like the fact that she posted this.
Oh, man.
and thought
But
it
also-
was like good.
But also, okay, I like the fact that she's encountering a bunch of protesters who are still undertaking COVID safety measures, and she's saying that she was hoping that could end in a hug.
Yeah, I don't like yeah. They don't. Maybe they're not huggers.
Yeah, maybe they assume,
Saying.
probably with pretty good cause, that you're not vaccinated
Yeah.
and
Sorry,
have
lady, you're a
dubious-
walking petri dish.
yeah,
Both
like,
in your heart and your soul and your physical form.
yeah. So I don't know, man. Like reaping and sowing and shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was really funny. The fact that she started fucking crying.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll
I'm
talk to you.
just so intimidated right now. You went there.
Yeah.
You showed up there.
Yeah.
You're the one pushing them.
Yeah.
You got your answer. They don't want to talk to you. That's when you fucking leave.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And like you could have somehow sewed that into a win if you just like didn't include yourself crying, like that was like winning you points. Like you could have walked
Fuck.
away with your chin up and going, well, I guess they just don't like free speech, or could have taken that angle.
I mean,
that's still stupid as hell.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like that would have been slightly less embarrassing.
Yeah. Someone who legitimately wants to know more could approach it from an angle of, do you have any literature that you're providing to the media? Right?
Yeah.
Like
that's probably what the media liaison said. It's like, I'm not going to talk to you, but here's a pamphlet or a website or something.
Right?
Yeah.
Like because there's a media liaison person, it doesn't mean that they're obligated to go on camera for you to rally your troop.
Well, you might think they're getting paid for this.
Yeah.
I know that's a common trope amongst you morons, but
but like they're also not looking to be the next soundbite for you to rally your fucking Nazi shitter troops to dox and harass them.
Nobody and it's one of my favorite things to do on social media in general is when you get these total goobers.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage everybody to do this, not just on social media, but again in real life. Like, we all remember the guy, that awesome nerd guy with the ponytail from some months ago, where he's like, I reject your premise, and just refuse to engage with the guy's stupid question.
Yeah,
do that. I do it every day, and it gets them so mad. It's the easiest way to be mad. Be like, okay, whatever, man. Sure, champ.
Yeah,
whatever you say.
Would you rather choose trans?
You won't even answer my question. Yeah, that's
free
right.
Society. No,
that's right. I won't answer your question.
Yeah, like
enjoy, chew on that. I don't give a shit.
You don't need to follow their little thought games.
You don't
it's
need
not
to
necessary.
give them your energy.
Yeah.
Your time, nothing.
Yeah. If
just stay focused on the goals.
Yeah, honestly,
don't get wrapped up with these fucking morons.
Yeah, like it's someone who you've just met, demanding that you prove something that is demonstrably true. You don't need to write them an essay. You can just be like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to continue on with my life.
Yeah,
because my life is full and. Yep. This ain't it.
I'm not going to dignify your bullshit with my energy. Not even is it just a waste of your energy. Do you really want to dignify the stupid shit that they're saying by earnestly responding to it as if it's worth that?
Yeah, I mean,
it's just.
Yeah, because what the point I was making earlier about demoralizing the right was stuff like the bonk. Yeah. That's in person. Online. You don't know if they're Russian bots. You don't know if they're AI. You don't know anything about them. So, like, online, I don't say use any of your energy to do that. If you want to, like, if you're bored.
Mute them, block them.
Yeah.
Muting them is fun because they'll keep, like, trying to get your attention and you won't give it to them. That can be a fun move sometimes.
Yeah. So, like, whatever. But I don't think that online is where any change in directly responding to someone happens.
Yeah. Learn from other people like that you want to learn from. Like, there's lots of leftist people that I even sometimes disagree with things on. But, like, they're educated, smart people that are worth listening to. And there's lots of people out there who are worth your time and energy because they put the time and energy into caring about something, and there's lots of those people out there. So why waste a second on morons? Just don't. And it's so demoralizing to them. Like I said, they get enraged. Like, yeah, sure, whatever. I don't care about your question. Not caring about what they have to say and just laughing at them is such an effective tool. It's so effective.
And
Trust
it's fun.
Me. Yes, and it's fun.
Yeah. So speaking of taking your time back, I'm respecting my time. I can't remember.
Reclaiming my time.
I'm reclaiming.
I think that's the what they say in the Senate and House things. The things that they do with the stuff.
The things and the whatnots. I'm gonna reclaim my time and I'm gonna get ready to be in the office tomorrow. So we are gonna wrap this shit up.
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Tune in next week. And as always, like, subscribe, share. Thank you for watching. If you want to be part of an episode, if you want to call in, we can arrange that. one of these places, and we can make that happen. Thank you so much for tuning in once